Hello and welcome back to No Bullshit. Today we return to talking about our least favorite social justice warrior YouTuber turned late night TV show host named, of course, Lilly Singh, formerly called Superwoman here on this website. Last time we talked about her bogus pro-women and anti-male commercial at the Super Bowl. You know, the one called Make Space for Women, which had Lilly and other females playing astronauts, encouraging girls to get into science and become real-life space travelers. This, of course, comes at the cost of ignoring, alienating, and isolating the boys, who may be into similar things already too, but hey, screw the boys and men, am I right? Liberals think it's okay to shit on us because our ancestors were successful or something. Really, I just see it as them being jealous and petty and weak and not able to stand up and do well on their own, so they have to bully and tear down others like ourselves. Regardless of that though, let's now turn to the new Lilly story for this week. This time she's been invited to perform at a roast of NBA All-Stars for some reason. Don't ask me why this happened, because we all know Lilly is not funny or very popular or well liked. She's just annoying and infuriating, and everybody hates on her and dunks on her in videos. But I guess this roast needed some diversity or something. Or maybe Lilly's agent squeezed her into this because who knows? We all know she's not equipped to deliver this kind of roasting, making fun of people in a playful way, this sort of comedy that's needed at these roasting kind of events. Regardless, today's video can be found on the NBA Game Time Live channel. It's called Lilly Singh opening her roast segment with a hair joke about black women. Sounds pretty standard for Lilly already. She can't help but talk and joke about race, sexism, and identity and alphabet related stuff constantly. It's all she's got. And also it's worth noting that this video already has over 2,000 dislikes, with only 10,000 views too, so ouch. And needless to say, this Lilly roasting the NBA thing is not going over too well either. So let's go ahead and take a look at the video a bit and go over what's said and see why it's so bad. This video has extremely low quality for some reason, so bear with me here. I think the NBA tried to remove all traces of this horrible performance too, so I probably won't be showing you many actual clips here, just some stills as we talk over things. And while it's hard to see what's going on, you can tell Lilly is wearing her signature style of male influence getup, manly clothes that are baggy like men's jackets, blazers, and other things that hide Lilly's body and form and her figure. Sucks because Lilly actually used to be pretty good looking back in the day too, but now she's just a female face full of makeup put on top of a male's body with all these weird clothes on. Regardless, her appearance isn't why we're here today. Although her playing down her looks and dressing like a dude, it does go along with her SJW influenced tendencies that are all too common with liberals like this these days. And the first thing Lilly says and does is try and roast the host here, Tiffany Haddish. Here Lilly says Tiffany is like family. I'm Indian, so she's wearing my cousin's hair right now. And needless to say, this comes off a bit harsh, mean-spirited, and not a laugh that can be heard from anyone in the audience. The truth is, people like Tiffany Haddish, they're likable, and she's an actually funny person, so when Lilly comes out with her race-obsessed BS, that comes off more mean-spirited than it actually should. It's crass, gross, offensive kind of comedy instead of being playful like how roast should be. I mean, sure, this is a roast and everyone is supposed to be goofed on, and everyone is fair game too, but there's just a certain level of tact and care and finesse you need to give your insult humor like this in order for it to come across light-hearted and not mean, but funny, and instead of just looking harsh and mean-spirited like how Lilly comes across. There's also another unspoken rule here too that's especially true for SJW types like this, and well, when you're rolling with black people and mixing it up in their circles, you need to sometimes be careful about commenting or joking about racial stuff, especially if you're a liberal and surrounded by leftists like this. Now, I don't necessarily agree with all this double standard stuff, but we all have to admit that it is out there. And also, this brings to light one of Lilly Singh's worst flaws. She acts and thinks she's a black person or something. In fact, Lilly has been ripping off black African-American urban and hip-hop culture for years. And this can be easily seen in her YouTube videos, the style she dresses in, and how she talks and acts and walks like a wannabe black person. She does that whole ghetto thing, kind of like how Hillary Clinton speaks like a black person when she talks in the South, as does AOC. And now here, I think this joke and possibly ones to come, they're not going to go over too well because Lilly is still acting like it's cool because she really thinks she's black and she thinks she's down with them. But really, melanin having folks in this room aren't having it clearly. And that's a big part of the reason she's not getting the reaction she's hoping for. It would be like if I went to a Mexican American roast of, say, the most famous Hispanic soccer players. And then if I came in there with an accent saying, "Hey, yo, chico, what it do, Holmes?" and then blasted the brown people with racy jokes like I was one of them, well, I'm clearly not, and that would not go over over well, obviously. And well, Lilly fronting as a black person is equally wrong and cringy and hard to watch too. But it is funny and a good laugh that we can all have a goof on at the very least. Then Lilly quickly turns to bashing white people here, because of course she does. And for the record, white people are barely even represented on this stage at all, besides Jeff Ross the comedian and this one white guy, I guess a basketball player on the right side too, but besides that, there's none of them on there, which makes Lilly bringing up white people as a whole kind of odd here. Anyway, her joke comes in the form of Lilly saying, "I was a huge basketball fan growing up because, as a Canadian, my other choice was hockey, and if I wanted to watch white people skate, I'd go to any courtroom in America." Okay, wow, this one's got a few problems, certainly. Not to be too defensive here or anything, but once again, she's making fun of whites out of nowhere, in a mean-spirited way again too. This is also based on falsehoods and lies as well. White people don't skate their crimes in courtrooms here in America. We get tried and convicted when we commit crimes as well, and we're governed by the same laws here as everyone else. So if whites are getting arrested less, which seems to be the assumption, which is actually true in some ways, but it's not happening because of racism like what's implied. Really, if whites are getting off of crimes they're accused of in court more, it's because they're innocent and they didn't commit them, or the opposing lawyers and police evidence gatherers didn't make their case against them properly. Next, Lilly disses hockey here too for no reason, which is not only her country of origin's national sport, it's also a pretty badass thing to watch. I love hockey, as do millions across the globe, but I guess bashing that sport makes sense when you're in a room talking about basketball, and also when you're trying to attack white people for no reason because, of course, you hate us. And hockey is one of the few white-dominated sports left out there. Next, Lilly calls Charles Barkley Uncle Fester from the Addams Family. Then she calls the next guy a puppet from Toy Story for some reason. And then Lilly pretends to be unaware of Shaquille O'Neal's acting career. And I have to say, I didn't think I was going to have to defend Shaq's acting career today. Not to say the guy is great or even that good or anything, but he has had a few hits. And most importantly, Shaq's career makes Lilly Singh look like an amateur. The first hit movies by Shaq were all the way in the early 90s, coming in the form of a film named Blue Chips, a basketball drama well liked by fans and moviegoers. And then there's the legendary kids film from Shaq called Kazam. This movie's not great or amazing either, but it was a staple for my childhood and others growing up in the 90s. Then Shaq starred in the film called Steel, playing one of the first African-American superheroes in a movie decades before Black Panther. And sure, the Steel movie stinks, but it is noteworthy because of that. Then Shaq had various other appearances over the years too, and the only one I feel the need to mention here is 2018's Uncle Drew. That was a moderately successful comedy with a lot of good laughs. I really liked that one, and it did well in great part due to Shaq's supporting performance, which was pretty hilarious. And that film coming out less than 2 years ago, well, I think we can all look back at it and say, hey, Shaq's done more good in one movie in 2018 than Lilly Singh has done in her whole recent internet and TV show career, and that's saying a lot. Then Lilly turns to making fun of Dwayne Wade, who's in the audience, saying Wade's wife is the only one working in their family now, since D. Wade has retired from basketball. But here's the thing, Dwayne's wife is Gabrielle Union, and she's like a B or C level actress who's working, sure, but she's hardly doing anything significant or interesting or noteworthy. She's just some pretty girl who gets hired to be in front of cameras. Dwayne Wade, though, this guy is a legendary basketball player. He's one of the greatest of our generation. Wade's got 3 NBA championships and a slew of other accolades that are well deserved. So, needless to say, in the sports world and in general pop culture, Dwayne Wade is absolutely legit. Not to mention, the guy only retired at the end of last year. It's not like he's been off forever, but regardless, Lilly has to side with his mid-level actress wife because she's a woman, and she's shitting on D. Wade, probably knowing little about him in basketball and the NBA at all, and really, she's just hating on him because he's a male. Next, Lilly goes after the roasting master himself, Jeff Ross, saying American audiences don't recognize the guy, even though he's been doing these events in comedy and TV for decades. Granted, Ross isn't as famous as most, but he's certainly well above a wannabe comic like Lily S., who then goes on to bring up the fact that she came out as a bisexual last year, seemingly out of nowhere, but then the punchline comes when she says she's already pleasured more women than Jeff, a crass, gross joke that I doubt is true, and I highly doubt this claim, and also, I still doubt Lilly is even into girls or a full-blown LGBTQ alphabet person at all. Sounds to me like she's just claiming that for attention and to get victim points, because I know I've never seen her with a woman. In all of the press photos and internet leaks out there and in all of the World Wide Web, there's literally no proof Lilly has ever been with a girl. I guess we just have to take her word for it, but I'm not exactly too comfortable with that. I mean, think about it. Lilly is is pushing 30 and she only came out last year? I think most people figure out their sexuality well before they're that age. Really, Lilly just saw the growing popularity of alphabet movements, so she wanted to get in on them quickly. And also, since she has mentioned this bi status every day since she came out, one can assume she might have done it to be able to talk about it more and to get more famous and to give her bits and jokes and more woke angles and things to play with. It also obviously helped her get the TV show hosting gig that she now enjoys but doesn't deserve. Next, we're going to skip over the Jay Pharoah and the Jet jokes because they're awful, sure, but hardly worth addressing. Really, I want to get to the part where Lilly awkwardly brags about winning 2 Teen Choice Awards, as if that's some kind of accomplishment. Please, this is like bragging about winning Best Singer at your local high school, and it shouldn't surprise us that YouTubers like this are winning Teen Choice Awards these days since the show was taken over by them in recent years. It recently being hosted by David Dobrik, Lele Pons, and Logan Paul to name a few, and it's easy for influencers like this to game the system too. All one of these YouTubers has to do is tweet out the link to the voting website to their viewers and boom, they'll win the award easy peasy. Regardless though, Lilly uses this humble brag as a way to say that the guy she's making fun of was likely never a teen. A bad joke clearly with a worse setup, and it's also another desperate way Lilly is trying to look hip and relevant and cool and down with the current kids. She did this at the beginning somewhere too when she humble bragged about being famous on the internet, as if that's a big deal. And sure it can be, but it's certainly a different kind of famous, and Lilly's relevance is dwindling day by day. As I said earlier, she's also getting really close to hitting the wall, and some over 30-year-old trying to talk like a ghetto cool person in internet videos, that's obviously cringe as hell, and it's an appearance Lilly has been sliding into for years now. But you're not cool anymore, Lilly. You got lucky, YouTube over-promoted you, and NBC hired you for a late-night gig that no one else wanted, all because you're a woke minority who gives them SJW credit, but not because you're funny or entertaining in the slightest. In the end, Lilly even finds a way to drop the fact that her parents are immigrants from India here. This was done as a way to tell Shaq she doesn't understand him speaking English for some reason. I'm not sure why. I've never had trouble understanding Shaq, but really, we got to remember, this is all about Lilly for Lilly. Instead of making jokes and making it about the people being roasted here, Lilly has to prop herself up, talk about her fame and internet reputation, her identity, and being from Canada, and talk about being bisexual and a Teen Choice Award winner. And she even mentions her immigrant parents. So that really makes you think and have to ask, did Lilly think this show was supposed to be about her? Because it's really about giving some light jabs to basketball players, honoring them in a comedic fashion, but of course, this SJW made it all about herself. What do you guys think? Did Lilly's comedy bomb here? Why would this show hire her for a roast like this anyway? And what's up with her dressing like a man boy all the time and also pretending that she's a black person? Comment your thoughts on everything below, and thanks for watching No Bullshit. Hit that like button to help support this channel, and we'll see y'all next time.